Welcome to today's Girl Talk presented by AT&T, focused on how to enhance your advocacy with soft skills for success. I am Melissa Kilby. I am the Executive Director of Girl Up, and so excited about this conversation today because soft skills are key to being effective leaders. And we're going to talk a lot about what does that mean? How does that apply to Girl Up? But if you are a Girl Up member already, you know that there are skills that we really focus on that we believe are core to being an effective leader for social impact. Things like being able to organize, to advocate, to fundraise, and to storytell. Those are hard skills. Those are specific things that we teach you. So we're going to talk more about other skills that can help us to be more successful in our advocacy. Before we get started, just a little bit of housekeeping. Click the chat icon on the menu bar at the bottom of your screens to chat with fellow attendees. Throughout our event, this is how you'll be able to communicate with our speakers and ask questions. Please chat responsibly. Today's Girl Talk focuses on soft skills, and we're going to talk specifically about team building and public speaking. But first, let's talk a little bit about what soft and hard skills are. What's the difference, right? So hard skills are things that can be measured, things that you might get a certification in or you might study in school. So think about coding, about being able to speak a foreign language, or your typing ability, something you can get certified in. Maybe if you're a doctor, you need to understand and have skills in the anatomy. Lawyers need to know the Constitution and the laws of the country that they want to be a lawyer in. So those are hard skills. Those are things you can learn in school. Soft skills are less defined, that often apply not just to one specific job, but are universal. And these are things that help you build longer lasting relationships, inspire trust, and really help you to be effective in leading groups. So think of things like teamwork, communication, adaptability, being organized, and of course, leadership. Today, we're going to focus on team building and public speaking. Those are really big, important aspects of advocacy. And so those are skills that we can all hone right now as we're doing our Girl Up work. We have an incredible lineup of speakers today talking about how they use those soft skills in their advocacy and in the workplace. Also, if you're a club member watching, be sure to check out the August Club Challenge focusing on sexual and reproductive health rights and justice advocacy, and create your very own advocacy plan with a step-by-step toolkit. You can use the link in the August Club Challenge window in your screen, or you can find more information in the resources section. This is directly applicable to the skills that you're going to learn today. And don't forget to join the chat so you can get your questions answered by our speakers. Okay, so I'm excited. We're going to kick off our first discussion and activity, and I'd like to introduce you to two of our experts. We have Minnie Bredouw, founder and CEO of Purpose Project, and Girl Up Canada regional leader, Sarah. Over to you, ladies.
Thank you, Melissa. I'm so excited to be here today to talk about team building with you, Minnie. So first off, I'd love to hear more about the Purpose Project and what motivated you to start the organization.
Likewise, such a pleasure to be here and chat with all of you today. So the Purpose Project really started with a conversation. About 5 years ago, I was chatting with a young woman named Karen. She's about 20 years old, and she had just recently dropped out of college. And one of the sentences she said has stuck with me forever, which was, I didn't drop out because I don't want to be there. I dropped out because I'm not sure why I was going. I would happily go back if I just knew wasn't wasting money on something I didn't know. And that was really resonant for me and the folks that helped found Purpose Project. And so really the focus of Purpose Project was how can we give young people a way to kind of own their own learning and find their voice and create some sort of path that is unique to them and meaningful to them. And so that's what we do today. We have 12 skills, all soft skills that we focus on, from resilience to advocacy, self-reflection, belonging, to really help young people feel like they can own their journey and uncover a sense of purpose.
Wow, that's amazing. I know for myself personally, before Girl Up, I have been involved in the social justice community since a very young age. But with Girl Up, I am able to have a bigger platform to help advocate. So it's really great to hear about other organizations that are fighting for the same things. So today we are going to focus on the soft skill of team building. But first, let's talk about what team building looks like and why these skills can be important to foster. Minnie, can you share some experiences of when you've found team building skills important in your career and in advocacy?
Yeah, this is such a foundational skill, actually, in thinking about advocating for others in the world around you. And so, a couple of examples, both the good and the bad. I'll start with the challenge I've had historically in my own work. I'm somebody who is a perfectionist. I like having everything perfect down to the very last detail. And one of the things that has been a challenge for me as I've become the director of our nonprofit is to learn to just trust others. One of the things I've been working on, it's a three word sentence, and it is "I trust you." And so the more that I sort of let go of controlling what needs to happen and say, I'm actually going to put all of my faith in the people around me and do my best to help them do their best work, I always feel a lot better. I feel like a weight is lifted off my shoulders. And there's something about it that also, I think, gives other people a sense that, like, yeah, I'm going to rise up to this occasion. So that's been one of my challenges. An area that I've felt I've grown in and that I've loved to explore is learning how to bring a sense of, and we'll do an activity today to support this, but really a sense of thinking of what is everyone's superpower. I always joke that, you know, every single one of us is got some superpower that we can lean on. And one of my favorite things as both someone who runs a nonprofit and is an educator as well, is starting to figure out how we can unlock every single person's superpower and really give each other the confidence to kind of rise up and support. So that goes hand in hand with the idea of trusting each other and knowing that we all have common skills. So those are a couple of examples of things that have helped me as I think about advocating for myself and for others, most importantly.
Wow, that's amazing. I know for myself, I too struggle with the power of not letting go. And I found, especially, you know, when I started my team on Girl Up Canada, it was just when COVID started. So it was the peak of everything had to go digital. And I kind of had to learn how to manage a team, a large team, totally virtually. And I think it's really important to remember that sometimes you cannot control every little detail and you really have to put trust in your team. So I'm really glad you brought that up, because I definitely think that's something a lot of our Girl Up members in the chat can probably relate to. As for some strengths that I have found in myself, I definitely have found that my sense of leadership is very articulate and to the point, which I think can help in many different scenarios where, you know, I can easily get things done right away. So yeah, thank you so much.
Yeah, great to hear. I think it's something we all struggle with, the feeling of control, especially this past year, right? So giving ourselves space to say, here's what I can contribute and here's where I can lean on others is such an important skill when we talk about team building. I'm glad to hear you've been learning how to do that as well. We can keep each other accountable. All right. Well, I will take over and really kick us off with the first activity for our team building. So we're going to do two exercises today and really think about, one is focused on really unlocking those superpowers, thinking about how we can talk about all of our strengths collectively. And then the other one is really thinking about, it's called Building My Team, and thinking about how do we help build a team of support around us that we can both empower and enable as we sort of move through our journey of advocacy. So let's start with an activity I call sharing strengths. So I would love for everyone, wherever you are in the world, to grab something to write with. It could be a pen, a pencil, whatever works for you. If you don't have that, you can even do it on your phone or something that is digital, your computer, and something that you can write on, obviously. So in my case, I have my notebook. What I always tell young people that I work with is you're an expert in yourself and your strengths. And so you'll see in the resource area that there is a list of a lot of different strengths. There's actually resources tab, exactly. There's actually, I believe, 22 of them. And these are all soft skills. So they're things like creativity and appreciation of beauty is one of them. As a person who's trained in graphic design, I have high appreciation for beauty, resilience, teamwork. So I would love everyone to download this worksheet and take a minute to think about what on this list are some of the strengths that you could bring to a team that you're really comfortable with. So if someone was to throw you in a collaborative setting that you feel comfortable, you could contribute. And then as you're thinking about that, I would love to have you write 3 of those strengths down, and maybe even an example of a time that you've done that. So in my case, I might write creativity. And I might say that I'm really comfortable leading brainstorms for my teams. And then after you finish that activity, you'll actually think a little bit about strengths to grow as well. Before we do that, let's pause and give everyone just a few minutes to think about the strengths in their life that come most naturally to them and that might be some superpowers you could bring to the team. I'm happy to play a little music while folks are thinking about it. I always love to have something to keep me occupied as I'm reflecting. And then as you get those strengths, we'd love to have you share those in the chat, and then we'll do part 2 of this exercise. So I'm going to play just a little music as folks are reflecting, and you guys can kind of just give yourself just a few minutes to reflect while my voice is calm. Sorry, that's my puppy Wally. All right, give you just one more minute. And as you're wrapping up, thinking about some of the strengths that you feel really confident that you could contribute to a team, I would love to have everyone share those in the chat. This is something that I think is a really cool activity to do in person too, when you're first starting a team and putting everything up on a wall so we can actually see our collective strengths as we start a project or a program together. All right, I'm seeing a lot of leadership, no surprise. What else do we have? Love of learning, yep. Creativity. Bravery, Yeah, we've all kind of had to learn to be brave, right? This has been an intense last year. Love of learning, appreciation of beauty. Yeah, if anyone's curious, I'm also going to put a link here that you can take a short quiz that is called, all comes from a program called the VIA Character Strengths. And this is a quiz you can take that will actually help you. It's free and will kind of show you different kind of what comes most naturally and what comes least naturally based on the quiz. So right now we're doing the quick version, but if you ever have 17 minutes, feel free to take the quiz as well. All right, so the next step of this activity is to, I love that. Yeah, suitable situations to problems calmly and hardworking. The next part is to think about 3 areas that you'd like to grow in. I'll give an example. In my case, I can struggle at times with self-regulation. Sometimes I throw myself into my work or I throw myself into what I'm doing and I have a hard time taking a step back. So I can use teammates that are really good at setting an even calendar, helping us pace ourselves. That is a person that I work very, very well with, given we're an area where I can use help in growing. So let's take another 1 to 2 minutes and write down 3 areas that, actually, I'm curious, Sarah, what are some of the strengths that you feel like you can bring to a team?
Yeah, so I put it in the chat here for everyone before, but I definitely think that my 3 top strengths that I can bring to a team is humor as my first one. I love making jokes. I love, lightening the mood, making sure everyone's still having a fun time while working. Leadership, obviously, I like to be in a leadership position, but also creativity. I am a communication student, so constantly I'm thinking of how to, send out different things in a creative way. So those are definitely my strengths.
I love that. Humor is such an important skill to have all the way through any advocacy journey. It might seem counterintuitive. I love that. So let's take just a minute or 2 to reflect on 3 areas that of this list, or anything else that may not be on the list, if something else comes to your mind that you feel like would be opportunities you can grow in. I'll play music for just another minute or 2 to give everyone just a moment to reflect. All right. So I will pause us there. Always do this activity with your teams long after this talk is over. But would love to hear in the chat if there are areas that, some people are already sharing perspective, self-regulation, humility. Sarah, any interest in sharing 3 areas that you would like to grow in yourself as a leader within Girl Up?
Yeah, so I also put this one in the chat too for people to see if they want to read it out loud. But definitely some things that I could grow in are perspective. Sorry, I'm writing it down here. I also said leadership, which is interesting because I said that as a strength too. But personally, I do think that as a young Girl Up member, your leadership is evolving through the things that you do, and you're not just at one level always. So just because you think you're comfortable now doesn't mean that you'll be faced with some sort of adversity later. So I think it's always important to remember that a lot of these factors are pretty evolving. But yeah, those are my 2 that I could really pick out right away.
And I mentioned self-regulation as one of mine. And I think another one, which is very funny, is prudence. I tend to jump into everything head first. And much to the concern of my husband. So it's like, maybe you can just slow down a little bit. So it's really, and the reason that I've done this exercise with so many of my teammates, and I think it's been really helpful, is that we're all a mix of areas that we are growing and areas that we have superpowers. Every single one of us. I often say when I'm working with young people and they say, you're the educator, you're the teacher, I'm like, I have a set of tools in my toolbox and you have a set of tools in your toolbox. And I'm just sharing my tools with you right now. But you could teach me something about a totally different topic and I would be the student. And so I think it's really important when we start working with new teams, or we're building teams, or we're working with people even out in a community that we're advocating for, that we're conscious that we are a combination of areas of growth and skills. And it's something, that's what kind of teamwork is, right? Is finding other people that complement you and can help you kind of move through a problem or a challenge. We're going to do one more activity, which is called Building My Team. So this is sort of a build on the one we just did. Let's take examples of maybe a skill that you would want to learn. So Sarah, in your case, you said, for example, leadership was something you want to do more of or evolve as you continue to lead. The second, so everyone take a skill, take an interest, take something that came out of that first exercise that you would want to grow in. And then take, if you have the resource tab available, download the second worksheet, which is called the Building Your Team exercise. So there should be 6 kind of purple sections that you can fill out. And this is all about realizing that for us to grow as individuals, it really takes a team. It takes a village, as they say. One of the experiences I had that inspired this was I was working with my manager years ago at work, and she said, who's on your team? Like, who do you want to recruit to help you grow? And I was like, well, you're my manager. And she's like, but there's so many other people who can help you beyond just me. And so what we're going to do as a group is think about who we have in our corner that can help us grow. And there are, I'm going to screen share for just one moment so I can actually show you and walk you through this. Here we go. 1 second. Okay, so just a quick visual. Can everyone see my screen? Yes, okay, great. So this exercise is focused on thinking about naming 6 different people in your life. They can be anywhere in your life. They can be people that you are collaborating with right now. They can be family members, friends, mentors in your community. And what you'll do is you're going to just take 1 more minute, 2 minutes maybe, and write down these 6 different individuals. And the point is really to think about 6 different people rather than the same person. And so I'll quickly walk through these 6 different roles. The first one is the listener, someone who listens to you completely without judgment. You feel safe with them and you can share anything that's going on and you know that they'll be receptive of just hearing you and actively listening. The cheerleader, I think it's the fan in the worksheet, but same idea, somebody who's going to encourage you and boost your self-esteem and confidence. They are somebody who's in your corner, they are rooting for you, they are cheering for you. Then we've got the catalyst, somebody who will get you fired up to take action. So this is someone that will help you with inertia when you really need to take action on something. The provoker, this is one that we talk a lot about right now, especially with everything that's gone on over the past 1.5 years in our country, but somebody who challenges you or pushes your thinking, who is someone that you can go to when you need a different perspective that you know will kind of make you think about something in a new way. The brainstormer, someone who comes up with new ideas, and the caregiver, someone who reminds you to take good care of yourself. So I'm going to give us just a few minutes, probably about 2, just to make sure that we wrap on time, where we can all just think and reflect on this for just a minute. So I'll put music back on and give you just 2 more minutes to think about these 6 questions. right, just 30 more seconds. All right. We'll stop us there. But this is an activity, of course, you can keep doing if you didn't get through the full exercise. And I would love to ask before we wrap, Sarah, was there anything you realized as you were doing this exercise yourself?
Yeah, for me, a lot of the people I put in here are fellow Girl Up people. So, a big one for me is the catalyst I chose as my regional leader partner is Miriam Naval. So I find myself often constantly talking with them, and we're pushing each other, throwing out ideas. And I actually found that they fit the box more than once. So I thought that was pretty interesting there.
That's great. Well, thank you so much for having me. And these are exercises that you can do again and again and again. I especially like the team building or the building my team when I feel like I'm at a low point and I have a struggle I'm going through, a problem I need to solve. It's so nice to sit and see how can I pull a community of support in when you're going through something or problem solving. So I'll pause us there, but thanks for taking the time to do these activities.
So if you want to take these skills that we learned today with Minnie and turn them into action, you should join Girl Up's August Club Challenge around, it's focused on advocacy around sexual and reproductive health, rights and justice. So it's super important. Thank you, Minnie, and thank you all in the audience. And I'm going to pass it back to Melissa.
Well, thank you, Sarah, for facilitating such a great conversation. And Minnie, thank you so much for the great activities. I was looking at my own team and thinking about how, many people can fill different boxes and how lucky we are to have people in our lives that can fill those different roles. And it's definitely an exercise I want to do some more thinking about. But I agree, like taking that when you're feeling down and remembering that you're not alone. It's really important, especially in this heavy and hard work that we sometimes do in these moments in the world that are so challenging, knowing that we're not on our own and that building a team to do the work with us is incredibly important. So thank you both for that great conversation and great exercise. So, another reminder, Sarah just gave the pitch, but don't forget, if you're just tuning in, we do have our August Club Challenge resources in the window. Check the resources section. If you're not yet a club member, I encourage you to sign up and register in the club community, and you can be a part of our August Club Challenge. So next up, we are going to talk about that soft skill of public speaking. One of my favorite things to do, but it does take time and it takes practice and it takes hearing from really good public speakers and getting those tips. So please let me welcome Girl Up teen advisor Ogechi, as well as the host of Nickelodeon Africa's Nick Music and Girl Up Johannesburg leader, Lerai, for a discussion and activity on improving your public speaking skills. Over to you both. I am taking notes. I can't wait to learn from you.
Thank you so much, Melissa, for the amazing intro. I'm here with Lerai to talk more about public speaking as a soft skill and our experience with it. So Lerai, I would love to hear more about your advocacy journey and what motivates you.
Thank you for that question, Ogechi, and thank you so much for the introduction, Melissa. I'd first off like to say thank you so much to Minnie for the exercise that we did. I was busy writing down on my notebook here as well, so thank you. I was participating in that exercise. My advocacy journey, I think, started from when I popped out of my mommy's stomach. I think, being African and being South African, we have this saying in Zulu, the language Zulu, that goes, umuntu ngumuntu ngabantu, which directly translates to a person is a person with other people. And I think that's really having that statement and sort of that mantra, which is sort of embedded in our culture, it always reminds you that, to keep community at the center and how important community is. And, as I grew up, I've always had this love for my community and this need and passion to contribute to it. And overall, uplift my community and my people, and as an extension, the communities around me. And I think it was actually last year where I started doing it. I won't say professionally, but it felt like I was properly advocating for something. And that is when I joined the Girl Up Johannesburg Club. And funny enough, I had seen there's this girl that I was following on Instagram, and I had seen all the wonderful work that she was doing. She was volunteering at UNICEF, and I texted her, I sent her a DM on Instagram, and I was like, hey, you're doing amazing things. Please let me know how I can help out. I would really love to get involved. And I think that might be most of our stories, that you don't really know where to start, but you just sort of message someone that and you sort of find your way into it. And that's how I started. She said, well, I've actually become the president of the Girl Up Johannesburg Club, and I'd love to have you on my team. And a year later, I have, joined, I was part of a campaign called the 1,000 Girls Campaign. We've raised funds for hygiene and sanitary packages for 1,000 refugee girls in South Africa. We've done a lot of talks. We've had talks on xenophobia, gender-based violence, and it all started with a DM on Instagram, which is sort of the new LinkedIn for creatives and young people in general. So that's how my advocacy journey started. How did yours start?
Well, that's similar to mine. Mine started the same way. In our school, we have this thing called the Equity Association, where we're trying to promote more inclusive education, diverse education, and more access to it. And my friend actually told me about it in the end of middle school. They had this whole association to promote education, and I was so interested about it, and I just wanted to join to see how much more I can do to improve our education in our community and our society. And it was just really impactful to me because I can improve how I talk, improve my advocacy, organization. It was just amazing to see how we can work together to impact our community, our school district, and just each other. So we use public speaking skills in a variety of ways. It isn't always a big crowd. It can be just talking to someone else, talking to your friends or family. So Lerai, can you share an experience of when you found public speaking skills important in your career?
Well, I think, first of all, I might have had it a bit easier than everybody else because I have a background in drama and sort of performing and speaking to audiences from when I was 9 years old. And I started modeling and walking in front of audiences when I was 5 years old. So I think standing in front of an audience and in front of a group of people has been something that I have always done from when I was a toddler. But I started doing public speaking when I was in high school. And I found that you actually have to do a lot of research and a lot of preparation into what you're going to be speaking about. And you sort of have to become a subject matter expert. And I have had some good runs and bad runs. I was doing public speaking competitions at school. We didn't win many of them, but it was a great learning experience. And where I found myself sort of being thrown into this public speaking realm again was when we were doing our 1,000 Girls campaign. And I found that every time we went to the refugee shelters and programs, we always had to address the women that were there and tell them, first of all, who we are, what we're about, what we're doing in their space, and thanking them for allowing us into their space. And that's where I had to apply my skill of public speaking. And the first time we did it, I didn't expect that I had to sort of actually have that entire structure. And the first time I did it, I was basically improving. Well, hi guys, my name is Lerai, and this is my team. So I did stumble quite a bit, but more and more, I have sort of developed my formula of how I address, the audience and the groups of people that we know. And I think that comes with experience, that comes with knowing who you're speaking to and what information you're trying to get across to them.
Yes, same. I think it's all about, first of all, like you said, like knowing what you're talking about, doing research about it, making sure that when they're asking a question, you're able to back up what you know and back up what they're asking to. So like I had a very up and down experience public speaking. I haven't been the best, but I haven't been the worst. I've been right in the middle, but always improving and learning on my skills and learning how to be more clear, be more enthusiastic how I speak, try to just do better. And that's how it's been like a challenge for me, but it's always been a learning curve and a learning experience. So Lerai, you're doing amazing things like in total, like you're a change maker, an actor, a host of Nick Africa. What tips do you have for audience members that may be hesitant to get out there and use their voices to advocate for issues they care about? And do you have any like tips to prepare for like public speaking events?
Okay, so I'm actually going to, in order to communicate and tell you my tips, I'm going to tell you a story of an experience that I had, because I think, it might be a bit easier to relate to that. Like I said, I was doing drama when I was, in primary school. I did that from when I was 9 years old. And we were doing competitions. And there was a national competition that I was doing, the South African Championships of Performing Arts. And I was doing the spokesmodel piece where I had to go onto the stage and sort of say a motivation speech. And I think I was speaking about having confidence in yourself or believing in yourself and all of that. And for these competitions, I was preparing for about 6 months prior to, actually attending the competition. So I had really put in the work and I knew all my stuff. And when I was backstage waiting for my turn to go on stage, something in me, I started feeling so anxious and I started believing in myself less and less. And I was telling myself, oh my gosh, I'm so not prepared. Oh my gosh, I think I've forgotten all of my lines. And I put myself in that sort of mental state. And so I walked on stage not being the confident Lerai that I was preparing to be and that I am in general, but more so I'd now become a bit more timid and I was scared to really express myself. And so while I'm on stage saying this speech, the words are coming out of my mouth, but what's going on in my head is, oh my gosh, I'm doing so bad. Oh my gosh, I think I stumbled on my line. Oh my gosh, oh my gosh, oh my gosh, oh my gosh. Overthinking, And I get to the last paragraph, and I think that's where the disaster happened. Because in my head, I was like, oh my gosh, I mixed up the words and I didn't end off properly. Oh gosh. And as I was speaking, I could feel, when you're about to cry and you've got that lump in your throat, I could feel that in my throat as I was speaking. And I was like, oh my gosh, this is a disaster. I'm crying on stage. What am I doing? And so I walk off the stage and my mother was the first person that I saw. And I just cried to her. I said, Mommy, I messed up. I did so badly. I was crying, crocodile tears. And she looked at me and she was like, Lerai, fast forward to the award evening, 2 days later. It comes, my category comes up and I got a silver medal for that out of the entire country. So I came second place. And I sort of reflected back on what actually happened. And it turns out that I actually delivered it so well. So here are the tips. A, before you ever go onto any stage or go in front of people, you need to make sure that you are in a right state of mind, that you are confident in yourself and your ability to deliver whatever it is that you have prepared. Even if you haven't prepared anything or you feel as if you're not as prepared, listen, you're already there. You cannot change anything. All you can do is make sure that you do your best when you go and stand in front of those people. So do exactly that. Tip number 2, when you are on stage, believe in yourself. Believe in what you are saying and believe what you are saying. Because when you believe that, everyone else will believe it. What I didn't realize was that because I was so emotional on the inside, the emotions were coming through what I was saying. And everyone in that audience connected with what I was saying. So as much as I was crying about the fact that I thought that I was doing horribly wrong, they all thought that I was really motivating everyone to believe in themselves, whatever it is that I was saying in that speech. I've even forgotten. So make sure that you are really connecting with your audience and speaking to them directly, not just reading the lines off of the paper, but really connecting with them and making them believe in what you're saying. And the third point is when you get off that stage, when you leave everyone, make sure that you leave knowing that you did well. Make sure that when you get off that stage, you're always looking forward to doing better and improving on your work. Whatever it is, there's always room for improvement. So those are my 3 tips.
That's amazing. I actually have a quick tip. It was like a learning experience for me, especially in school. I would always be afraid to be called on for like assignments we had to present for the class or just show our work. Just if they try to pick on you, just go up first. Honestly, you get all the nerve out it gets all the nerve out just right away. You don't have to wait for your name to be called slowly. That's what happened one time when I just went up first. I was like, I'll do it to get all my nerves out on time and just make sure that I was doing the best for me and I wasn't having those nerves like come out through my writing and come out through how I was talking. So
that's so right. You might as well just go up first and get it over and done with. So I think, when something that's very important for all of us is to make sure that, in our advocacy, we know our story and we know what we're talking about and that we're able to advocate for ourselves. So everybody that is that is watching today, we're actually going to run through a little exercise. So we're going to create an action or a passion statement. So make sure that you get a piece of paper and a pen because we're going to do some writing right now. It's important to remember what you're passionate about and what is your statement. When you're preparing to give a persuasive speech or advocate to your local leaders or engage your peers on an important issue, that focus will help you build your soft skills. So I need to make sure that everybody has their pieces of papers in front of them. If not, just grab your phone or any device that you have, go into your notes and start typing that out. So you can actually head to the resources that we have right now and just pull out that action and passion statement so that you can follow along over here. So we're going to tackle 4 main points in this action statement, and I'm going to be writing down as I do this. So first off, in our statement, we're going to say, my name is. So my name is Lerai, so I'm going to write down, my name is Lerai. Please, guys, feel free to also type your statement into the chat. Ogechi, are you also writing down your statement? Alrighty. Now what you're going to say is what you're passionate about. I am passionate about. So what I'm passionate about is, so I'm going to write down over here, I am passionate about the African youth and its culture. Because, wait, let me write that down first. I struggle with writing and talking at the same time because I'll end up writing down what I'm saying. Youth and its culture. And the next thing that we're going to say.
For me,
have you written yours?
For me,
yeah, what is yours?
Yes, for me, I'm passionate about using STEM for social good and advocating for gender equality in STEM.
Using STEM for social good and advocating. Wow, all right.
For gender equality.
Gender equality in STEM. Next one is I want to create change by. So now you're going to say what it is that you're going to do. You're going to write down a tangible action for your selected topic. So how are you going to create change with your passion, Ogechi?
So for me, I want to create change by advocating and educating about the need for inclusion and diversity.
All right. Mine is a mouthful. I've got a lot written down here, but what I'm saying is I want to create change by using my platform to connect and collaborate in order to have strategic conversations that drive change and impact with a key focus on youth entrepreneurship and women empowerment. So mine was a mouthful, but
Well, that's
what
great.
mine is. And then the third point is going to be, I am capable of creating change because I am. So now what you need to do is insert 3 affirmative words, 3 affirmations. So how are you capable of creating change, Ogechi? Well, why? Because I am.
I'm capable of creating change because I am creative. I had 2 more words, but I was just thinking about them. So creative, passionate, and let's think of a word. Creative, passionate, and a leader. Let's say leader. That's a quick 3 words.
Leader, all right. Mine go, so I'm capable of creating change because I am talented, I am driven, and I am a woman. I think being a woman is the best thing ever because we can do so much. We're so strong and powerful. So please make sure that you guys are writing down your personal action statements in the chat. We would absolutely love to read them out loud. There, Ogechi just typed it in over there. So Ogechi, how would you apply your action statement in your advocacy? How would you use it?
I would use it as a way to remind me of what I'm motivated, a motivation for me to remind me about just what I'm advocating for, what I'm fighting for, and what I'm trying to improve in society, and just continue to motivate me in life. Yeah. How about you?
Alrighty. The way that I would use it is, first of all, when I go and speak to that I've never met, I think it feels like almost that 30-second, 1-minute pitch that you go to people where you sort of tell them about who you are and what you do. I love this because it sort of encompasses who I am. And I think also as a mantra to remind myself of who I am, what I'm passionate about, and why I'm doing what I'm doing. So I would love to read my action statement out to everyone. I can see there's a few action statements over there, but overall, my action statement, my passion statement is, my name is Lerai. I'm passionate about the African youth and its culture, and I want to create change by using my platform to connect and collaborate in order to have strategic conversations that drive change and impact with a key focus on youth, entrepreneurship, and women empowerment. And I'm capable of creating change because I am talented, I am driven, and I am a woman. What's yours?
That's so amazing. I love the ending. Okay, so my name is Ogechi Okafor. I'm passionate about using STEM for social good and advocating for gender equality. I want to create change by advocating and educating about the need for inclusion and diversity. I'm capable of creating change because I'm creative, passionate, and a leader.
Ooh.
And this is just anybody's passion statement in the chat. So
I'm also reading. I see there's one here from Genta. I apologize if I'm saying that wrong. She says, my name is Genta. I'm passionate about reading and writing books. I want to make a change by inspiring others, girls, not to give up on their dreams and use their inner voice, as well as to believe. I am dedicated, talented, patient, and passionate. That's beautiful.
That's so nice. I'm not sure I pronounced your name, but I don't want to get it wrong. As Mia, I'm so sorry if I pronounced it wrong, but my name is Mia. I'm passionate about art and drawing. I want to create change by lighting up different topics using art and helping others get through their loneliness, hard time, and problems. I'm capable of creating change because I'm creative, and because my creativity and ability to translating emotions and darkness into beautiful in art. Oh, that's so nice, though, the ending.
That is.
I don't know if I was saying it right.
That's absolutely beautiful.
We have one more here. My name is Paloma. I'm passionate about gender equality. I want to create change by advocating, teaching, and researching. I'm capable of creating change because I'm creative, empathic, and driven.
Okay, I see one last one has come in here. I think we can read the last one and sort of close off. My name is Sumaya. I apologize if I pronounced that incorrectly. I'm passionate about giving equal medical attention to people all over the world. I want to advocate by educating others about the lack of medicine in other countries, as well as working to help disadvantaged people. I am capable of creating change because I am kind, persevering, and a leader. I feel
That's so nice
already.
Yes. And you can share your personal action statement in the community, in the girl community on the app, the website, anywhere you can find it.
Awesome.
So Lerai, thank you so much for doing this activity with us. Everyone, all the audience members, you can also improve your soft skills, improve your soft public speaking through our new August Club Challenge called the SRHRJ Advocacy Challenge that you can find in the girl community or just your club events. So thank you, Lerai, and thank you, the audience. I'm going to pass it back now to Melissa to do our outro.
Thank you. Well, of course, thank you to Lerai and Ogechi for leading us through such an inspiring activity. And thank you so much to those of you who shared your statements and your passionate aspects of yourself with us. I'm always so inspired by the Girl Up community and the passion that we all bring to this important work, each in our own very unique ways, bringing our own unique talents. And I hope that our Girl Talk today really helped to show you that there is a lot to learn about being a leader, but you all already are. You're already leading. You are part of a team, a Girl Up team. You are committed to advocacy and being able to tell your story and to share your story with others is really the first and most important part of advocacy. Why does this matter to you and why should someone care? So thank you all for sharing. Thank you again to our speakers. What an incredible hour spent. I know I took away some tips. I'm always learning something new from our Girl Up leaders. And again, last and final reminder, don't forget about our August Club Challenge. The issues around sexual health, reproductive rights, and justice are so crucial. And having our own bodily autonomy, the agency to make decisions about ourselves, is such a fundamental part of being an equal gender, right? So use your advocacy skills, put these soft skills into practice and into test. And we can't wait to see what you do with it. Thank you so much. We'll see you at our next Girl Talk in September, and we'll be anchoring that around a global convening of global advocacy, the United Nations General Assembly. Thank you all so much, and we will see you next time.